video's going to shake.
That's fine.
I got a steady hand.
Whoa. Alright. Good afternoon. Now, I all want you to take a moment and think about your lives right now. Since you're sitting here today, you're all relatively pretty healthy. But I want you to imagine, what if you had a spinal cord injury from a car accident, maybe you had third-degree burns all over your body, or maybe you develop Parkinson's one day when you're older. Well, the road to recovery for these unfortunate circumstances that are evident in millions of people's lives is a long, difficult, and sometimes impossible one. But now I want you to imagine, what if there was a medical treatment that could grow back skin tissue, repair nervous tissue, reverse the effects of Parkinson's, or even cure cancer? Well, that potential does exist. Today, I'm here to argue that the U.S. government should increase federal funding for stem cell research in order to grow and expand it. First, I'll explain what stem cells are and where they are located in your body, and then I'll move on to my argument. The National Institutes of Health states that stem cells are cells that have the ability to develop into many different types of cells in the body during life. Now, in addition, stem cells in our bodies act as a sort of internal repair system that replenishes cells that die or get destroyed as a result of our daily lives. When a stem cell divides, it either can become a stem cell or it can turn into any type of cell in our body. There are over 220 cells in our body, and it can become blood cells, brain cells, any type of cell in our body. The National Institutes of Health goes on to state that small amounts of stem cells are found in every major organ and tissue in our body, ranging from our bone marrow in our bones to brain tissue and stomach lining. Now that there's an understanding of what stem cells are, I will go on to my argument. First point of my argument are induced pluripotent stem cells. The California Institute of Regenerative Medicine states that induced pluripotent stem cells are stem cells that are taken from the skin, well, they're cells taken from the skin, injected with 4 genetic proteins that restructure and reorganize the cell DNA in a way that makes it into a clean slate, and then these cells can be used as stem cells. They're literally identical to the stem cells that are found in our body, and they're actually healthier than embryonic stem cells because they provide a genetic match directly to the person that will use them. Induced pluripotent stem cells can be further manipulated to become into any cell in our body. Induced pluripotent stem cells destroy the need for us to kill embryos in order to make embryonic stem cells, and there is no longer an ethical dilemma with induced pluripotent stem cells. The second thing I would like to point for my argument is the benefits of induced pluripotent stem cells. In a recent article released by the New York Times, they followed a man through his surgical procedure. He was from Baltimore, and he had an inoperable malignant tracheal tumor. That means that it was able to move throughout his body and that they couldn't operate on it. So they actually removed his trachea. They used CAT scans to make an exact replica of it using high-grade medical plastics, and then they bathed his trachea in induced pluripotent stem cells that were taken from his skin, and within 3 days they were able to suture this trachea back in his body, attach it to his lungs and throat, and now he's able to breathe and eat relatively on his own. A similar procedure was performed over a year ago on another man, and this man has also had positive results. The second point that I'd like to bring up comes from the Open Stem Cell Journal. It deals with Parkinson's disease, and researchers took a 57-year-old man who's diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and they injected pluripotent stem cells into his brain, and based upon his pre- and post-test scores of the Parkinson's test, which is known as the Unified Parkinson's Disease Rating Scale, the man saw an 82% increase in his overall score, a 92% increase in his motor neuron capabilities, and also a 55% increase in dopamine uptake, which means that his overall brain became healthier. As we can see, stem cells open the door to many exciting possibilities. They have the potential to help us cure cancer, and they have the ability to reverse the effects of neurological diseases such as Parkinson's disease. With the recent technological advances of induced pluripotent stem cells and the lack of any ethical dilemma, I believe that the U.S. government should increase funding in order to achieve greater medical outcomes for patients and increase longevity in the life of humans.